We've completely glossed over the Tulsa race riots, and when black people did succeed under capitalism, those communities were destroyed. We've completely glossed over eminent domain and how much of the black community was taken, like literal black.
Let's talk about.
Like, what about Seneca Village?
Let's talk about Black Wall Street. Let's talk about Black Wall Street. Are we on the same page of what happened in the Tulsa riots?
Debunking MAGA History, episode 27. Y'all know why the fuck I'm here, and I cannot believe this man willingly went on Jubilee. Just got tore the fuck up, so let's talk about Tulsa.
Tulsa race war?
It depends. What do you think happened?
Well, I know what happened. There was a conflict between black and white people. There was a fight between the two. White people got the best of black people in Tulsa.
Then no, we are not on the same page.
Well,
no.
Let me finish and you tell me where I'm wrong. In that fight, there was a lot of black businesses destroyed in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They rebuilt, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years later, and they begin to continue to succeed. Is that not factual?
Yeah, not factual, kind of starting at the end here, but the idea they were all able to rebuild and continue succeeding is complete and utter bullshit. Because how did the city respond? Oh, this is a great opportunity to rezone the entire area and call it industrial. Sorry, you can't reopen that black business here. This is now zoned as industrial. Not only that, people who were able to rebuild were not compensated properly because guess what? This is all industrial now, guys, so the land is nowhere near as valuable as it used to be. So we'll give you about a third for it, and you can spend the rest of your life in debt. That is if we don't just place your land in a trust overseen by white developers, because obviously they knew how to redevelop the area better than black people ever could. It was outright fucking theft. They spent the rest of their lives trying to recover from that incident, and they were never able to.
No.
What's the truth? What happened then?
I mean, the truth is that a community of successful black people who were succeeding under capitalism were directly targeted because of that success.
They were not directly targeted. It was a conflict.
Yes.
It was a conflict between a black man, I believe it was a black man.
It started when a black man was accused of lynching, was accused of raping a woman. And then because of that, there was this anger and a mob started.
Inappropriate behavior with a woman. There was a conflict that occurred. The first shots rang out from black people, shooting and killing several white people.
Yeah, what a fucking scumbag, man. I could never imagine willfully distorting your own history like this. The man in question was named Dick Rowland. He was a shoe shiner in Tulsa. You know what he had the nerve to do? He tripped inside an elevator, went to steady himself, touched the arm of a white woman who was attending the elevator. She screamed. Another white woman behind a counter called the police and reported it as a grape. Full-on essay. He gets arrested, but the sheriff and the prosecutors knew it was complete and utter bullshit. They were going to turn him out. That's when the local paper runs an article entitled Nab the Negro, and how the sheriff was about to let him out. A lynch mob forms around the jail. The black men who he's referring to were mostly World War I vets who showed up to support the cops, to support law enforcement against the lynch mob. And eyewitnesses described the first shots as coming from a struggle between a white man trying to disarm a vet. Something goes off in the course of that struggle. Both sides start firing, but the cops, importantly, the sheriff, was firing at the lynch mob on the side of the black men who had showed up to support them. There was one side who was clearly in to extrajudicial killings, and it was not the black community.
So how many black people were killed in total?
Oh, I don't know how many black people were killed in total. I just know black people fired the first shot.
Well, I do. Can I tell you?
Well,
it was 300.
How many white people were killed?
And that's like a low estimate.
How many white people were killed?
Not as many.
12, possibly 13. While 300 black people were killed, another 10,000 were hospitalized, with 6,000 interred. They were all functionally homeless for years after that point in time.
Because it was a riot against the black community.
What happened was white people came up into Tulsa, Oklahoma. It became a violent confrontation, and white people overran the black people in that confrontation.
Can I ask you,
Yeah, overran is an interesting way to put it when it was really just a white mob burning everything to the ground with air support. They bombed Tulsa, which is still kind of a controversial element, right? So when Oklahoma did an official investigation in 2001, they still weren't willing to acknowledge that the state was clearly involved. They wouldn't state it explicitly, but logically, how the fuck else did they have access to air support in which they could bomb the residents of Tulsa? And you know what they all did after that point in time? Made postcards out of it. Yeah. Featuring some of the charred corpses so they could send it to other white folks and say, look at what we did. This is something you should be proud of too, disgusting motherfuckers.
It kind of feels like you're defending the race rioters.
I'm not defending any race rioters. I'm saying it's a conflict that happened.
Can you acknowledge that this is one example in which white people hurt black people unjustly?
You're saying...
Can you just say this is one?
What you're trying to say is that black people are doing their own thing and a bunch of white people just came up and destroyed all their property just because.
Yes.
That wasn't what happened. It was a conflict.
So,
it was a conflict that occurred that caused that to happen.
But you know...
Nope, that's exactly what happened. The events themselves started with Dick Rowland, but the primary impetus for the white community was destroying Black Wall Street. They could not stand to see successful black people. Not only that, but the state viewed it as a problem as well, and why they rezoned as quickly as they did. How are we supposed to reinforce this racial hierarchy and convince all these dumb, poor fucking crackers that they're better than all of these rich, successful black people? That's not gonna work. We gotta rezone this immediately and fuck every one of them over in the process and then just bury it all in our history.
Arguing the whole point of this prompt is that black people hurt the black community more than white people. So, and these are some examples of white people hurting the black community. And every time I give you one, you say, no.
Let's give an example of...
Well done. Ate his ass the fuck up. As did everyone else. It might be the single worst performance in Jubilee history. Book recommendation. I can't find my physical copy amongst my mountain of books, but Caste, The Origin of Our Discontents by Isabel Wilkerson. She is one of my favorite authors, has an absolutely wonderful style. Tulsa makes an appearance, but it's about the caste system within the United States and comparing it to that of India, Yahtzee Germany, and others. Wonderful book. And on a personal note, I've been approached by another very large debate platform to possibly participate in a 10v1. I'm considering it. What do y'all think?